Senegal, the birthplace and ancestral home of one of Africa's most successful national football teams. Nicknamed the Lions of Teranga, Senegal announced itself on the world stage in 2002 when they stunned defending World Cup champs France with a famous 1-0 victory in the tournament's opening match. The same year, they reached the Africa Cup of Nations final. In 2022, they reached the round of 16, later securing their first ever Africa Cup of Nations title after defeating Egypt. Most recently, they won AFCON 2025 in Morocco, a title they were later declared to have forfeited by CAF, a decision Senegal disputes. These heights the Teranga Lions reached through a complex and controversial football relationship with France. A French colony until 1960, those historical ties continue to influence the country's football landscape today, with many of its top players developing their careers through French academies and clubs. Our meeting with one of them was here, a spectacular location in the capital Dakar. The restaurant overlooks Gorée Island, once a significant departure point in the transatlantic slave trade. Himself a product of the France-Senegal football pathway, he reflected on the evolution of that relationship and much more. Two-time African Footballer of the Year, Hadji Diouf. Thank you so very much for joining us on the CheckPoint.
Well, it's my pleasure, and I hope you enjoy your time in Senegal, and you have a beautiful food here, because when I come to your country, to South Africa, my country, because don't forget the two-time I was South African Player of the Year, I got my trophy by the big boss, Madiba Mandela, in South Africa.
Wow.
2 times, 2001, 2002. I'm half South African.
So we hold a special place in your heart.
Definitely, yes. And I have a big brothers to inspire me to be like who I am today. Talking about Lucas Radebe, talking about Dr. Kumalo, talking about Mark Fish, talking about Benny McCarthy, Alan Mokoena, Quentin Fortin, and my brother Stephen Pinas.
So every 4 years, almost the entire globe becomes obsessed with one competition, the FIFA Football World Cup. And every 4 years, we see incredible African talent on display on a world stage. But many of these players were either born in Europe or made in Europe. You were born here, but you were refined in France.
I born here in Senegal, raised in Senegal. And I went to France when I was 14 years old to do my academies, to do like football, education and football. And when I went there, since I leave this country, I know what I want. I want to become one of the best players in the world, one of the topest players in Africa ever. And before I went to France, and before I become a professional footballer, non-Senegalese win the Ballon d'Or before me. I'm the first one and the second one. And after Sadio Mane, my brother's coming.
Why is it that to this day, Africa continues to export raw talent and import finished goods for international competition?
Like, what do you say? Africa is full of talents. And now the problem, we need to find a solution and stop talking about like problems. The solution is, with all talent we get, how we can do our proper formation. We need to build, I call that a house of performance. That's why today Spain, they play the World Cup final today. That's why today Argentinians, they play the World Cup France, they become one of the best teams in the world because they have a house of performance. Doesn't matter if you want to be like become the best player in the world, the best swimmers, the best handballers, whatever, talking about the whole sport. And like what you say on the beginning, Africa is full of talent. Now, imagine you have one of your best players. If I'm not lucky before, I will play for France. Like Paul Pogba is Guinean. Like most of them, Chouamini is Cameroon. Most of them, Mbappe, Cameroon. And that's why we need to have a house of performance to our own countries. And the government, most of the government push a lot of money for the formation, for the education. And I think so after that, we can, tomorrow we can see African team play the World Cup final.
Where are we going to start? Why are you, the stars of 2002, well respected? You've inspired others, the Sadio Manes of this world. Why are you not starting that?
We used to play to making our family proud of us. We used to play to making our country to be proud of us. We used to play to put our country, to want to put our country on the map. Now is a different case. Now Sadio Mane, Gana Gueye, Edouard Mendy, they have to play to win it trophies for Africa. We opened the door, and now they have to play to start winning for the country. Because now what everybody waiting about only one thing: when Africa gonna win the World Cup?
Yes.
When Africa gonna win the World Cup?
We're
not far.
When are we going to put what needs to be put in place?
I can believe South Africa can make it the first African team to win the World Cup. Why I say that?
Yeah.
Because if you go to South Africa, you got the whole facilities. You can compare from Europe. You have the best facilities. You have one of the best championship. If I can call that the Premier League of Africa is in South Africa. You have the strong teams. But now, your players, when they became men to be men, because they got the formation for South Africa, Kaizer Chiefs, Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates. Yep. They have a good education and formation of players. And now when they become good player and as a man player, they have to go to play abroad.
Why?
Why they stay at the country?
Can we not produce a finished product in Africa?
Because in South Africa, they find everything over there. They get paid well. They got the family not far from them. And compared to us, we need to go outside to show the people we are the men, and they teach us how to play football, how to win a game. Because if you play against Germany, if you play against France, if you play against Spain, they don't think about playing football. They think about how to win it. Because the most important things for big players and for the big team, for the institution team, is about winning.
Do you think South African footballers are spoiled?
I swear, I used to tell that, and I'm keeping tell that to my brother, my friend, the president of your federation, Jordan. I say to him, if you have like 10 players going to play abroad, I swear you're going to win the African Nation Cup easy. Because watch your goalkeepers. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the World Cup. If this guy if this guy can play for Manchester United, can play for Arsenal, can play for Chelsea, can play for Barcelona, can play everywhere. Watch the young boys you have from the World Cup. They can play everywhere in the world. But they play only on the country. They don't know about the competition. They don't know about fighting. Because when you stay, like what they say on the beginning, at the countries, everything is easy. You got your family, you got your own money, and you got everything easy for you. But me, when I go back to France to play football or to England for Liverpool, I know I have to come back to be the king of my countries.
There's a lot more at stake.
Of course. Of course. That's why I say most of your boys, 10 of your national team, if they play abroad, you win easy the African Nation Cup. Watch our national team. You're talking about Sadio Mane, where he play. You're talking about Idrissa Gana Gueye, where he play. You're talking about Mendy, Chelsea. You're talking about Koulibaly, where? Chelsea or Napoli. You're talking about all these players because now they got like what we say experience.
But what if they want to stay at home? Should they be pushed out?
If they want to stay at home, you cannot push them to go to play abroad. But only things you can do is about like, I can talk to them to tell them, if you want to win the African Nation Cup one day, you have to go to play abroad. If you want to become like the African Player of the Year, or one of the toughest players in the, and tomorrow people are gonna remind about you, you have to go to play for Liverpool, you have to go to play for Manchester United. Why people talking about today Benny McCarthy, Aaron Mokwena, Quentin Fortin, Lucas Radebe, Pina, around the world. I know my people here, they watch the World Cup, but they cannot give you 2 or 3 players of the Bafana Bafanas. The only famous one you get is the goalkeeper. Your goalkeeper from Mamelodi Sundowns is one of the most famous one because he stopped how many penalties for the African Nation Cup. And he's a very good goalkeeper. And I know this boy can play for any team in the world.
So break it down for me. That gap that is there.
Yeah, the gap is so big. The gap is so big because...
Is it discipline? What is it? Is it hunger? Just explain to me what it is.
In Africa, they teach you how to play. But when you're young, you just want to play. But when you're growing up, you want to win it.
So explain to me, is it a psychological thing or is it a physical thing? The difference is about like,
they always used to say to us in Africa, the only good things about to be participated. But no, my generation, we say, is not about to participate, it's about to win it. Now that mentality, we have to put it on the bin. Africa, we go to the World Cup. When we're going to go to World Cup to say we want to win it, we don't go for the only participation. We go now for win it, and we can do it.
Do you think at the moment we're just honored to be part of the World Cup?
I think so. We're not far. We're not so far. We're not so far, but still, long way. But I think so. If we are together, if we're working together, if we're sharing experience, I think so. Africa. You see Morocco, these 2 World Cup. These 2 last World Cup, they're doing very well. I think so we're not far.
Tell me about the 2002 team that you were part of. You made it to the quarterfinals of the FIFA World Cup in 2002. What do you think was the secret to your success?
The secret of 2002, it was so simple. It was like some people you see, one national team, like family national team.
You were a family?
We was family. We was family. Fadiga is still my best friend right now. I don't have any problem with Henri Camara and Salif Diao, and we still meet until right now. We have our foundation. And that's why today, if this generation winning the African Nation Cup because of us, because of the past of that generation of Gilles-François Bocandé, El Hadji Malick Sy, most of them. Our secret was, guys, let's go crazy. This is our first African World Cup. Why we don't shock the world? First game, we were lucky to play against France. Zinedine Zidane. They was winning the World Cup and the European Cup. 98 and 2000. Guys, let's go crazy and we can beat them. Let's play from our heart and let's show everyone the real talent of the world coming from Africa. And after that, on the pitch, we can make it.
Your analysis of why the 2026 team, the Lions of Teranga, didn't perform as well as you did at the World Cup?
At the World Cup, no. It's a different moment because they're waiting for us in this World Cup in America. They're waiting for us because when we went to the World Cup, was African champions. And all team want to beat us. And our first game was against France. And don't forget, 2002, we beat them. And now we play them to 2026. And 2026, France, became stronger as a France 98. But just, we was not lucky against France because if you watch the game against France this year at the World Cup, we should have finished the game at the first half.
You should have.
We should have finished the game first half.
What
we
happened?
got all age, but we wasn't not lucky. We wasn't not lucky.
Do you think it was just luck? Or what was going on behind the scenes? I'm telling you, it was a luck.
But when first half, we don't have a luck. But second half, you play against big players like Mbappe. You give them little change, they can perform it. That's what happened. And after that, you put yourself in trouble. The second game against Norway, we don't deal it very well. And
but why? I want to know why.
As a competition, when you don't do well for your first game, the pressure is there. And when the pressure is there, it's hard to come back. And like what they say, we came back very well against Iraq. against Belgium, we still don't know what's going on, but that's football. That's football. You can have everything from your hand, and 2 minutes after you can lose everything. With people talking about Senegal against Belgium, we win it until 86 minutes, but don't forget Manchester United win the Champions League at 2 minutes. We saw that every time in football. Like, we're gonna learn from our mistake, and next year we have the African Nation Cup. We're gonna be like very focused, and why not go to win it again and to getting ready for the next World Cup. It's coming, excited one, because it's coming back to Africa after South Africa 2010. Sadio is a man star today from our team, and I believe it's not finished yet. He can play the African Nation Cup coming. And don't forget, we have Ibrahim Mbaye, we have Lamine Camara, we have Pam Matar, and tomorrow we're gonna find some players as well. Some players gonna come for our national team. Senegal is a land of football. Africa is a land of talent. And I think so today, the big luck we have so many academies here in Senegal to like producing talent.
Speaking of Ibrahim Mbaye, of the team that was playing the World Cup this year, the Senegalese team, I think about 10 of them were French-born, born in France. And there's a debate, even now, about their loyalty. Do they choose Senegal when they're not chosen by France?
I'm telling you.
Where are you in this debate?
If you see people like Ibrahim Mbaye, he's so young. He decided to become Senegalese player, Senegalese international when he was 17 years old.
But he played in France under 16 to
Doesn't
about
mean nothing.
under 20.
Doesn't mean nothing. He's just born there.
Yeah.
But he can choose.
I mean, he played for France under 16 to under 20.
But doesn't mean nothing. He was young. He just have one opportunity to play. It was France. And now he have two opportunity. It's like me. I went to France when I was 14 years old. And I was one of the best kids player. And what they wanted from me to play for France national team. I said, no, I want to go back home. You understand? And most, Patrick Vieira, he born in Senegal, but he played for France national team. That's mean, like what they say, that doesn't mean nothing. And
But how do you respond to those who say, because you were not chosen for France, you'll go for Senegal?
Like what they say, Senegalese community outside Senegal, they're very strong and they always
stick together.
Have a connection with Senegal. Why? Because they're born there, but every time they have a time for holiday, they come to the country. And that's why when they came, and now they have some people as well to spy them. Because if you see Hadji Diouf, I born here, grown up in France, came back here, and everybody say, wow. Born in France, born in Spain or somewhere else, you can always say something. I want to be like the new Sadio Mane one. I want to be the new Hadji Diouf one. If they born there and they can make it without nothing, we can born there and can make it too. Like for us, we don't have so many different. We don't thinking about that. What we want and what we love from these boys, from beginning, from Koulibaly, born in France, Edouard born in France. But when they came to the national team, when they put the Senegalese jersey, they feel like I'm a Senegalese player now. I'm a Lion of Teranga, and I'm ready to win it, and I'm ready to be like the best players. That's all we want from them, to be loyal to the country, to be loyal for our national team.
What about the Football Federation here? We heard horrific stories about how team members had to buy their own food.
No, from that I don't. From that I will tell you the truth because I was there. You know, when you don't win it, so much history coming out. But I tell you the truth.
You think it's a story?
I was there. Only mistake we did is only one mistake we did. The organization there was fantastic. I tell you the truth. I was there. I'm with the national team every day.
It's not true that players had to buy their own food.
I can swear from my kids to tell you most of the story, they're not true.
And the goalkeeper
Only
had to pay
two-
for his own medical attention.
No, that's not true.
MRI scan, apparently he paid for himself.
I don't, maybe because before I came, but when I was there, nothing happened. Because don't forget, I go there two weeks before, 3 days before the World Cup start. The team went there before me. Because I was not allowed to went to America before I have a 21 days because I went to Congo. From Ebola, they say, you remember. But to tell you one thing, in Africa, you always heard a lot of things when the team don't win it. I've been there from a long time. When I was playing, the same story used to be in out or more. I've been bandit before because they say me and my teammate Tony Silva, we went out, and I tell you that story is not true from today. But just to tell you, only one mistake we did from this World Cup, we don't performing well. What we want to before we went to the World Cup is about like minimum play the semi-final, quarter-final, but we don't made it. Why? We wasn't not so good on the pitch. Okay, that's technical. We can take it. It's part of us, and we can handle it. And now everybody's know, and the people like what they say they say Ismail Assar fight with Pap Gay. That's not true. I was there. They say the players go to buy their own food. That's not true. They used to eat all together. They say they used to bring alcohol. That's not true. I tell you the truth.
And I mean, the coach himself and the whole issue with his contract, and that for a period he didn't have a contract, and for a period he was, not paid. Surely
that for the bonus things. For the bonus one, we always never have a problem to have our bonus getting paid. If they don't pay us now, we know they're gonna pay it, and the players don't have a problem for that. And for that time, the players talking for the people to working around the national teams, like the master, like the doctors, and the people around the national team. But we play as a team. The players have money, but some people need to have this money back as well. But I don't think so that's a big problem we deal with. But
yeah, but to hear those things is worrying because it talks to the fact that there is no professionalism.
well, I don't think so. We're talking about that like what they say because the result is not there. If the result is there, we don't talking about that. Only things I want to talk is about like football. The coach contract. If I'm the coach, I tell you the truth, I never leave Senegal before I get my contract done. He's my brother, Pap
Is that what he should have done?
Of course. And if he talked to me, he's my man. If he came to talk to me before about that, I tell him, don't move before you get your contract. And from we win the World Cup, from we win the African Nation Cup, to went to the World Cup, you have a time. You have a time to sort your contract out for 2 days, 3 days, 1 week. We're talking about 6 months after. I think so. Is unprofessional from my is unprofessional from my brother, Pap, to go to the World Cup without contract. If you have a lawyer, if you have a agent, your agent or your lawyer should to sort that out before you go into America.
Because why do you think it wasn't?
I will,
you think
because
it's all
imagine,
his fault?
When I used to be the captain of the national team, before we went to the African nation or the World Cup, I'm talking me and there's some people with the national teams, the big gun of the national team. We're talking about everything, all details before we went to the, because when we went to the competition, we don't want to talk about nothing. We're talking about only football. And now all these things you hear around the national team, I tell you, and I swear I was there. Why people talking today of this national team? Because the result is not there. We not win it. We, Senegal, don't show the face it used to show on the whole competition. Like team to can play football, team to can control the game, team to can making everyone happy. And that's football. Sometimes you can fail as well. But we say sorry for our population. We say sorry for Africa. because we know how Africa believe of our teams.
Yeah.
And the next time, definitely we're going to make it.
What are you going to do better next time?
What we're going to do better now next time, just like learning from our mistake, is like on the pitch, if we cannot winning game, we can just like take 1 point. If you take 1 point against France, if you take 1 point against Norway, and you beat Iraq, maybe you go far because you don't play a heavy team like Belgium.
And Bafana Bafana?
I'm talking to my brother Jordan, and I will come to South Africa soon, and to talk to Jordan, to have a meeting with, and I say to the players as well, if you want to be like, if they want to only win the African, they want to be Ballon d'Or, win the best player of Africa. They cannot play in Mamelodi Sundowns. They cannot stay in Kaiser Chiefs. They have to go to Liverpool. They have to go to Manchester United. They have to go to the big team, Ajax, Germany, somewhere else. I talk to my brothers. It's good to be like, to play for the Bafana Bafana, but Bafana Bafana have to perform well. Bafana Bafanas have to win it, African Nation Cup, because you have good players, but they should to have experience from like a top level championship, like England Premier League, like German Premier League, like France Premier League, and if you have like 10 of good players playing for the Broaden, I think so you can win the African Nation Cup.
How would you respond to those who say Senegal has become a factory for France?
No. France is of course benefit of that. Senegalese national team as well, because we have so many players born in France and they can play here as well. Like the good things about us and France is about we're working together. If you see one of the best academy here called Generation Foot, they belong to Metz.
Yeah.
And if you see a Jambar, belong to Marseille. Hey, it's like win-win. Like I believe that win-win, and we're working very good together.
Do you think it's going to have to
The
stay that
pre-season,
way?
of course. The pre-season, the pre-formation is here, and the formation we did is in France. The kids stay here. You cannot go out until you have a 16, 17 years old. From here, that means you do your first formation here, and your last formation you do it abroad. And when you go to Metz, like Sadio Mane, he do his first formation here. He went to Metz, and after they teach him and they learn him a lot. He learn a lot how to play high level now.
We want African solutions for African problems. You know what I mean? Is that a dream that we could create an Hadji Diouf, homegrown, from age 6?
And we do it so far.
And take him to the World Cup here, right? Refine him here on home soil?
But
on home soil?
But
Can we?
Of course.
Never?
Of course, no, of course. But that's have to come from the. If you want to have like 10, now we have 1, we have 2 coming from Senegal. Now the thing is, when we're gonna have the whole team, top world-class players coming from Africa, I think so. We on the way.
Oh, we need to produce more.
We need to produce more. We need to have more academies. We need to have like more facilities. We need to have like a strong championship as well.
When you
strong Liga, like the South African Liga.
Yeah.
But you have a strong Liga, you have a good championship, big facility, but players still at the countries. Us, we don't have the facilities, all these things. That's why we're going to play abroad.
I just want to ask you one last question. It took you about half an hour to get through this restaurant, to get to the spot. What is it like to carry on your shoulders the hopes and dreams of an entire nation, and actually an entire continent on your shoulders when you're on that pitch?
First of all, it's a big honor for me. When I was young, my dream was like to making happy my country, my continent, my family, and after my kids coming, because I got kids after all these things I say. And I'm so proud of myself and so proud of my country. They give me the opportunity to be Senegalese players, but I work hard to be like one of the most famous person ever for Senegal. And I never joke with my country. I never joke with my shirt. I never joke with my people. And today, like what you say, everywhere I go, I can finish the meal. I'm with 10 people. I'm with my sister, my wife, my kids, my friends, the people to work in my house. I bring them all. And sometimes I finish the food and somebody pay for me for all I did for the countries. That means I say to the young generation, when you play for your national team or when you work for your countries, do it nicely, correctly, and to be like very professional. And because when I used to do before on the pitch, today I get everything paid back because people show me love. People want to have a picture with me still, and people know my work, the good job I did for my country and for the continent. It's not only in Senegal. When I come to South Africa, it's the same things. When I go to Congo, it's the same thing. When I go everywhere around the world, I just came back from the United States, it's the same thing. When I get out, all France, Jupi, and I think I'm so proud for myself. And like what I always say, thank you God for that, and I will always appreciate that. And now is the time to give back that to the young generation coming, and that's why we're here.
And what is the secret to your longevity? You performed over and over and over for a long period. What was the secret?
The love I get for football. The love I got for football and the love I got for my the love I got for my
It can't just be love.
I swear to God. I swear to God is only
what happens in your head? What is the driving force?
Mentally strong, focused to my objective, to my business, and the love I got from football. The talent God gave me, I know with talent only you can do nothing, but you have to be mentally strong. And that's why I did everything I did in football, because when I used to say I want to win this football game by myself, I used to do it because I got the potential and I want to make people happy. I know a lot of people used to come to watch me play football. They wasn't not happy when they leave their homes to come to watch me. But I always say, when you come to watch Hadji Diouf, you go back home, you're always happy.
And you play not just to play, but to win.
For me, it's not only, when I used to play, it's not about only game. It's about doing the business. Because football is so important in Africa, in Senegal. When you play some game, you cannot lose it. Some game, you have to win it for the stable of the country.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
Hadji Diouf.
my dear.
Really appreciate
Cheers.
it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.